I really had trouble with is I want my beat not to be piano. And it's really not drums either. But I feel like it sounds more like drums. So when I try to go and add a drum, anything.
So the way I understand it, that drum is this is like a virtual instrument where they took a lot of people drumming, and then they turned it into an instrument that would change the way that it's drummed, and you can change what drums are used and what, whether there's like a hi-hat like here, you can click those and click the hi-hats and click the tambourine, and then turn off, and then make it more complex or simple. And there's just a lot of little controls. And then over here you have the little presets that they have of different types of sounds. Up here you have the different drummers, so different kind of vibes, and then you can choose between the, like here's a modern hip hop, so that's a quick way to do it. And then you can change the sound here. That's the drummer tool. But you can also make drums from scratch.
How would I start doing that?
So do you want me to show you or tell you? Okay. So to make a drum from scratch, you would want to go add a new software instrument, and then I'm going to just drag this over so I can see it. And then I would go to drums, and then these are the kits. So this is like, like drum sets. Then you can hit Command K and open up this, which is like a MIDI keyboard using your actual computer keyboard. But if you have a MIDI keyboard that's like an actual physical keyboard, you could plug it in and use that. And this is a way of you could just kind of drum into that.
Stop, you make this look so good! Okay. You make this look too easy.
But then you can go in, double click it, and change so like let's say I want to change this to one of the other sounds. To the snare. And then you can just add things here. So you can hit Command to change it to the pencil. I think they call it the pencil tool. And you can just add notes in there. So that's basically that. And then you can select it all, and you can quantize them. Quantize means set them to be different lengths apart, so that it's snapped more exactly. So like, for instance...
Oh, okay, that's going to be helpful.
If I quantize it to 1/4, you see how it all goes and snaps. Oops. And then if I change it to 1/8, and if I turn it off, it has a little bit more of my original energy that I was trying to put into it. So that's like how you can make a beat that way. And then you can also change it to like an electronic drum kit over here. That one's cool.
It's so crazy how like... Wow.
What's crazy?
Because like the beat that you did is like so close to what I had in my head.
You can have
and it's
it.
Crazy that you're able to get that from literally that little like what thing I did.
From the piano?
It's like you're able to like tell just from that what I was trying to get. And it's like you just made it.
Cool. I don't even know if somewhere I probably thought about that.
It's like very, very similar. It's like dun 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 dun. Wait. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And what you did is like pretty much exactly like that. It's
That
crazy.
sounds great.
Anyway. Yeah, because that's exactly what I was trying to figure out how to do. So thank you for showing me how to do it. Like as
You're
far
welcome.
as the
And this will be recorded on your computer, so you can watch it anytime.
yeah.
And then I'll sync it with the audio as well.
I was trying to play that on the piano. It's like that's not gonna sound good even with the effect. But now I know I don't have to do that.
This or this?
The up top.
Yeah, the melody. So yeah, and you know how to go in there and you can move them around and stuff, and yeah, so you can make it whatever you want it to be. And I like using drummers for things that are more like I need it to sound more like a real drum set, and I want to do it quickly, so that like let's say I'm just like, okay, I want some rock drums real quick so that I can play piano, but I don't want to sit there and make drums for an hour. So I'll go, okay, let's do a rock drum here, change the drummer, make it like this, and then you can play to that.
And you're able, like you said, to like mute, I guess, like different parts of the drum, and then
Yeah, you want to try it?
Like if I only want this piece, am I from there able to go in and I guess like what you did over here?
Yes.
And how would I do that?
So you would need to have another track like this one. I'm just gonna make a copy. So this track, you would need one that's what do they call it? A software instrument. And then you can drag this onto this, and it will. Oh, maybe not. That's how I do it on mine. Oh wait, is this GarageBand?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it doesn't work on GarageBand. I'm not sure about that. Let's see if there's a way to. Let's just look it up. Thank you, Studio Hacks. YouTube channel is. Thank you, Nat. At Studio Hacks. Copy, paste. There.
Oh yeah, thank you, Studio Hacks.
Yes. And then. And then you remember, oh wait, do they have, that sounds good.
That does sound really good.
I wonder if you can swing it. Does it let you do swing? There's a swing model. Oh, that's kind of swinged. Yeah, so I think that's the closest you can get to swing on GarageBand. Logic allows you, there's like a swing like knob like this where you can choose the swing. Do you remember I showed you that last time?
Yeah.
So but I think this is just the way to do it, is the quantize, but you can kind of hear the difference. That's with the swing, and then that's no swing, and then you can fourth notes, and yeah, there's lots you can do with it. So much you can do. Okay.
So when you quantized it to that half note, did it just like remove all the beats in between? Is that what quantizing does, or
it snaps all the different MIDI notes into a grid? So like when the half note one, it just took all those notes and put them in for every one that's within this section here, it went here, and then all the ones that are in this section went here, or something like that. I don't know the rules, but so all of those notes, those four notes there, these ones here, got snapped into here. And actually, I wonder, it looks like, did it erase the note? Because there's only 4, but then there's actually 5. So I think it might have combined them as well, like these two. Yeah. But it's just a snapping thing.
Is this screen recording on my laptop?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because like that first thing that you did, like truly was just like exactly what I was trying to do like the past week.
With this one? The keyboard?
Yeah, the keyboard and just being able to like lay down those beats individually.
Yes.
Like as far because like even like I was trying to go through the different what's the one that she made? Detroit Garage. How'd you get there to using that sound?
So make a new software instrument, and then you choose the drum kit or the electronic drum kit, and then you choose the one here. One of those was Detroit. Let's see, what was it? Detroit Garage. Oh wait. Yeah, Detroit Garage. I don't know what. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And then I just open up Command K for the keyboard, and then I hit R to record, and then play. And if you hit Z, it'll go down. So a better way to show this would be with the electric piano. So if I go, so every time I hit Z, it goes down, and every time I hit X, it goes up. It's moving the octave. And then C and V change the velocity. And there's a pitch bend here, 1 and 2.
Ooh, I love that.
And tab is sustain.
What's velocity?
Velocity is how loud or how quiet it is. So
Nice.
basically, it's how hard did you hit the note. So if it was a physical piano, you would hear. If I was playing really softly, it would sound like this. Why is it not playing now? Oh, I accidentally muted it. If I was playing really softly, it would sound like this. And then if I was playing really loudly, it would sound like this.
Oh, this is truly everything that I need. It's crazy.
Awesome. That's great.
Wow. Okay, so when I'm recording and wanna like make it be like lay down like a drum kit, like I'm using the wrong terminology here. Like if I wanted to like lay down something like that, how would I do it while recording it?
You would
just hit the whatever button.
I think it's Command R. I'm like muscle memory here. Oh no, it's just R. So you just hit the R key, and then it starts recording, and then whatever you play. Let's see, I'm not on. I'll go on the piano. And then it's recorded.
Okay.
Oh, I should probably mention, some people like to have their own samples. So some people like to download samples from the internet or get sample packs or pay for sample packs. And what you can do is drag them into this section right here. I believe this is where it is. Or maybe it's only Logic. It might be only Logic. For Logic users, I would recommend doing that. What it will do is it will allow you to create a drum machine, and it's kind of a more complicated version. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video / podcast. But for right now, these are great starting tools.
That is awesome. Let me go to some of my questions now, because you showed me a lot already, and I want to overpack myself. Let's see. Wow, you already answered so many of my questions that I'm going through. Do you have a specific workflow that you follow when you start a project?
I don't think that you need to have a specific one. I think that whatever suits you or feels right. I usually start for myself by looping things on top of each other, kind of like what we have on the screen right here, like just listening to one thing, adding another thing over it, listening to that, adding another thing over it, and then eventually I'll start to section them off into sections. So I'll say, okay, I'm gonna have an intro where it's just piano, and then it's gonna move into the beat with the piano plus the bass, and then there'll be a chorus with just the bass and the beat, and then bring it back to the piano, and so I have like these horizontal sections that go for about 3 or 4 minutes, or longer, shorter, and then I'll usually improvise vocals over that, or write to it. Very rarely I write. Usually I improv, and then I'll write around what I've improved, or just leave the improv, and then I'll re-record the vocals so that they are of higher quality, or of I'll pay more attention to the notes that I'm singing, and then I will move things around. But I mean, obviously, this is like the most usual way that I do it, but I'll do it in any number of ways. When I was writing a long time ago, I would always start with the rap. I would write it, and then I would record the beat, or I would create the beat around the lyrics, or sometimes I would just create beats and then decide, okay, I want to write to this, and then I would sit there and listen to the beat looping, and I would just write lyrics for like an hour or something. But that was my old way. There's really no right or wrong way. And then at some point I would mix it, and then I would usually after I mixed it and I finish it, I usually export it, and then I either show it to somebody or wait and work on it more.
Okay, so when it comes to like layering sounds, is there a way that you do it so where it doesn't get so complicated and muddy?
So that's kind of like what mixing is. So like mixing is taking frequencies out of a track, these are all tracks. So mixing is taking frequencies out of the track or amplifying certain frequencies on the track. And what that means is, if I have this, I would go into, let's see, this is a little different because it's GarageBand. Is there a way to do this on GarageBand? Oh, here we go, EQ. Yeah, so let's say I have too many things that are in the mid-range, which is around here. These are frequencies from low to high. I can sculpt out the low frequencies like this. And let's say with the beat, to me that sounds like the beat is kind of up in the high frequencies, and then the melody is kind of in the low frequency, or in the high frequency as well. So then I would probably take off a little of the top of that, or you can kind of see. This is what's called bypass, which means turning it on and off, basically. It's such a small difference that I doubt we'll be able to hear it from just hearing it out loud, but it can be more dramatic depending on if you do something like this. You can really hear it, but usually it's more subtle. And so you'll want to shape the frequencies so that they all interlock and like a puzzle kind of. And this is all just something that I think, like, there's technical ways to do this correctly, but also you can just play with it and see what sounds right. And that's usually the way I do it. I haven't really taken that much into consideration as to like the correct way of doing it. I usually just feel it. And another thing you can do is pan things left and right. So you can save, like, let's say if you had 17 vocals and you panned 5 of them straight, 5 of them left, 5 of them right, and then 1 of them hard right, and then 1 of them hard left, it would like sound fuller and not sound as like mudded together.
Oh. When I listen to music, I understand kind of in that context what you mean. about like some instruments in one ear and then different ones in the other versus them both in like the same.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're making an orchestra with your computer. You're choosing where things go physically in space as well as how loud they are. So, you know, sometimes it can be really awesome to have something that's a very quiet instrument like a flute be very quiet, but then have like a really hard bass next to it, and that like contrast. But then the bass might overpower the flute, and so you have to figure out, well, what am I doing? Maybe I'll put the bass on the left ear and then the flute on the right ear, which is not typical. Usually you want the bass in the middle, but that's just how most music is. But why not try something different? But like there's plenty of other ways that you could do it, you know, like by carving out the EQ around the flute so that it only has the higher frequencies you want, and then the bass has less higher frequencies, so then they kind of come together and they both have their sculpted sections.
Okay, yeah, that EQ is really essential to understand. So, what other like effects are essential to understand as a beginner when it comes to manipulating your different sounds and beats that you make?
I don't know how to get to effects on here, so let's search it. This is like a control section where I guess you can change like the how things sound. Let's mute those. So these are kind of like effects.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Plugins. Okay, so here are the effects. So you can add EQ. All of these would be worth just individually trying them and or learning about them. Like delay, pretty straightforward. Phaser, great. Could just literally most of the time I just move things around like this until it sounds cool. Reverb, reverb, right? Reverb is just like we already kind of put it on through here with this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's no. And then that's with it. You can hear it going, and that just stops. That's the reverb. And then, yeah, there's tons of them. I would just recommend going through here. Limiting is taking something that might be too loud and bringing it down to just what's, not what they call clipping, which is clipping is basically when the sound gets too loud and starts to distort.
Mm-hmm.
And so this brings it down, and it can also be used to bring sounds up. So
it seems like such a good tool.
It's a really good tool. Compressor, I don't fully understand what a compressor does, but it is a way of also bringing things down that are too loud or making things louder that are too soft. And it's also, you can do what's called sidechain compressing, which I don't know if they have it on GarageBand, but it allows you to take another sound, like another audio channel, for instance, like a kick of a drum, and by sidechaining that to another sound, anytime that the sound that you're, I guess I'll say it like this, when you have a kick and the kick's going, and then you have let's say a keyboard that's going dun, then sidechaining would sound like this. It would kind of like carve out space for the kick and move and turn down the audio around the kick, and you can make it really tight so that you don't even hear the and it would just sound like it's going the whole time, but it's another way of carving out space like EQ, so that you can carve out the physical space for the sound. It's pretty cool.
There's really a word for everything. Like, I could have explained that, like, not knew the word for it. Like, that there's even a word for it, side chaining. That's crazy.
Oh yes, there's
It's just really a matter of just explaining yourself clearly enough to know. Wow.
there's so many terms that I don't even know. Like I said, I took a class on this. I literally just 10 years of just figuring it out and watching YouTube tutorials, and you know it's just fun to play around with it and just see what you can do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going through effects.
Like, you really just like show me that the possibilities are really endless. Like you could like create a song on accident, like just by playing around. Truly, just because like
a lot of the songs are on accident,
right? And then I guess one last question. With everything that you know now, what's one thing that you wish that you knew when you first started? Like, if you're like starting from scratch like me.
I think you asked me that last time, but I wonder if I'll say the same thing. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, if you did last time, I forgot what your answer was.
Well, you'll see it soon. I still haven't uploaded it, so. Yeah. But if I was like you were saying?
Yeah, like, you know, I have very minimal experience with, like, any instruments at all. And, you know, I'm just barely starting off, you know, making beats on my first, you know, DAW. It's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm barely figuring out the terminology and everything. And so if you were to, like, to start off again, like, what's like what's one good piece of foundational advice that you would take?
I would say have fun and allow yourself to, or you know, you could say continue to experiment. Mm-hmm. Like, don't think about it. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just create. You can create a beat in an hour or a beat in 30 days. But if you create, in the beginning, if you create a lot of music and you try to just let it come out, there's some really cool things will happen. And then you'll get to a point where the time between you having the idea and being able to create it will be short and shorter and shorter the more you do it. But you don't have to necessarily even take a class or learn. You don't have to learn anything. Well, you will learn, but you don't have to learn through class. You can learn through experimentation. And taking a class is great. Just like taking a music theory class is great. But you don't need a music theory class to sit at the piano and play the keys and see what sounds good. And honestly, I mean, this is what I did when I first started. So I don't know if it would be a advice for me, but everyone else, I would just say experiment, have fun, continue. Yeah.
Awesome. And one last question. I feel like I already know your answer, though. What are some mistakes that you would foresee, like, people like me making that start off?
When you say people like you, I'm assuming you mean
anyone,
beginners.
Really. Just beginners, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that you are a beginner because you have a rich history of lyrics. Mm-hmm. And rhythm is directly with lyrics. So as far as I'm concerned, you're an expert as far as understanding the essentials of music. The only thing that you're just now endeavoring into is new technology, which no matter who you are, you're not going to know how to operate technology until you learn it. So beginner it's a true term, But I would say it might be limiting. So the question was what kind of advice I would give to someone who is just starting to learn this interface or the software, or that's a beginner within the software.
Yeah, like yeah. Do you see beginners, trying to tackle on a new project? Do you see them like make like common mistakes?
That's okay. Yeah, I think one of the common ones would probably be judging it. Like, is it good enough? But also that can be a strength if you look at it from the perspective of, do you want it to be better? Of course you do. Will you always be able to make it better? As long as you are willing to make it better and you are willing to learn what you need to learn in order to make it better, or you're willing to move things around until it's better, in your opinion, you will always be able to continue to work on it forever. And at some point, hopefully you'll decide that it's where it needs to be. And that can be a useful way of doing it, but also to not get caught up in the endless perfection of it. And to remember that sometimes the imperfection brings important things to the table, like connection or emotion or rawness. And Rick Rubin says something where he says music is like a diary entry, and it just represents how you see the world today and how you feel today. And it doesn't have to represent how you will always feel or how you always be. And that's kind of like the wristband. Not defined by flaw, accepting your presence in where you are today.
Awesome. I like that. That really helped me. Thank you, Pierce.
You're welcome. Thank you. And anytime, if you want to come back and bring some more questions, or if you want to play some music or just talk.
Yeah, I'm honored to be part of LEMUSIC. I know that's not how you say, but that's how I say it. It sounds French. LEMUSIC. LEMUSIC. No, but yeah, hopefully one day soon I'll be able to share some music. I'd be more than honored to do that. I can't wait to do that.
And you'll be able to, because I'm doing a new website for Lemon, and on that website is a section where people can submit their music. So you can submit your music and submit music of people that you like.
Yeah.
And you can start right now with other people. And I'm going to curate a huge list of music with what makes it connected. And I foresee wanting to put your music on there. There's a couple of songs that you've shown me that I really feel excited about. I'm waiting for those to come out so that I can put those on the website.
I can't wait. Truly can't wait. I'm very excited. Very honored. Thank you for showing me the true meaning of music. Connectivity.
I hope that I've done a decent job at those very beautiful words.
You have.